My dear, dear daughter and son, I have always been at your side. I have never abandoned you, even and especially in those moments when you believed in me the least, or not at all. It never made a difference to me, and after all, why should it? Why should your faith make a difference to me? When you see a cat in your room, does it make a difference if the cat believes in you or not? You feed it, you take care of it just the same, and it makes no difference whatsoever if the cat knows that it's you filling its plate with food and not some sort of magic that makes the food appear every time it's near, or a simple law of the universe that says that this food just has to be there. Faith is not important to you. Faith can only be important to the cat. That does not mean that I'm comparing you to a cat. Cats are clever. They never return to a place where they have been treated badly. You, on the other hand, are not. It takes forever for you to take a hint. It takes forever for you to stand up and shout enough to whomever or whatever it is that hurts you. It takes such a long time for you to realize that when a door keeps shutting in your face, it is simply because that door is not good for you anymore. Instead of looking in another direction, you try to enter the same room through the window. Even a cat would know that this is not the right room. Why am I telling you all this? Because the new energy expects of you to be swift in your reactions. I told you in our last channeling that energy no longer comes in a small stream of constant flow. It comes in waves. Big, powerful waves that take you up in the air and don't really give you much time to make plans and lay strategies. This happened when you were in the initial stages of your spiritual journey. Now, new qualifications are required of you. The ability to act on instinct as well as intelligence, to sniff the air and make a decision because it feels right and not because it makes sense. If you haven't developed this ability by now, after all these years of energy courses and training and recognizing signs and following them, it means that you don't deserve the help you're given. You don't belong to the advanced level, and you should return to the beginner's class. But you and I know very well that you've earned it, that you are in the right place. You are now in the waiting room of an airport, ready to catch a flight to a country you've never been before, a place few people have been before, so few and so long ago that there are no photographs to describe it. Just words, scattered phrases found in books and myths, the kind that feed your soul and make you fly, but are rejected by everybody else for being pure imagination. And this, the lack of imagination, is the only thing that can stop you from boarding that plane. Because the plane has come. It has already landed, let out its last passengers, and is being prepared for the next ones as we speak. It is being prepared for you. But only if you don't stop yourself. Only if you don't change your mind, grab your suitcase and go back to wherever it is you came from. If you don't go back to being your old you. But you are not your old you anymore, and you know it. You are a better you, an easier you. A you that doesn't care if the others understand. A you that doesn't care if the others agree. A you that knows this dream country exists and simply wants to go there. A you that doesn't want to convince anyone about it, just wants to enter the damn plane and leave everything behind. Nothing stops you. Everything you need is given to you, and if it's not given to you, it means you don't need it. Your only map, The only map you need is a blank page, and you are requested to write on it the answer to a simple question. If anything was possible, what would you ask for? If any kind of life was possible, what kind of life would you want to live? Take out the limits of improbability. Remove the voices from your mind that tell you all the things you have to want. Let one voice speak, the one who wants what it wants, and let it speak up. Don't worry, it doesn't mean that you will always want the same things or that your decision is final. It just means that you cannot enter the plane without at least one true wish in your map. If anything was possible, what would you choose? And now that you know it, now that you have your paper filled with the true desire of your heart, no one can stop you. No one will stop you. Only you can stop yourself. What if your dreams are crazy? Who decides what is crazy and what isn't? Who says that what's normal for you is also normal for the others? And why should it be? The world is filled with variety. Why not add a new spice in its taste, a new thread in its pattern, one that only you can create? How will you know what you are capable of if you never try? What good is logic to a bird when it hears the calling of the sky for the first time but has never used its wings before? How can logic help when it tells it to go against its own nature? Stay in the nest, it says. Don't leave the tree, it says. It's the only world you know, your only safety. Well, the only difference between you and the bird is that you are surrounded by people who have never used their wings and don't even know they can fly, and have spent all their life trying to convince you that staying on the ground is the logical thing to do. The only danger is if you try to leave the nest too early and fall flat on your face, if you do it before you're ready. Even then, it doesn't change the fact that your true nature is to fly, and that it's only a matter of time before you do it successfully. And now, my dear, it is the right time. That's why your life is up in the air and you're there with it. That's why the carpet has been pulled off from under your feet. Because it's time to fly, my dear. And if the carpet was still there, you'd be walking for the rest of your life. You're ready. Don't waste time on planning strategies because they won't work. All it takes is to know that you can do it, even if you don't know how. That's all it takes. The time for preparation is over. You don't need it anymore. And you don't need faith either, because if faith is what was needed to make this higher jump, you'd probably still be on the ground. And you don't need help from the sky. If you didn't have that already, you wouldn't be here, whether you recognize this or not. You don't need money, and you don't need a teacher. You don't need a plan. You don't need me, although I will be there. You don't need your angels, your guides, or your friends. You don't need the support of your partner or the approval of your environment. It's your life up in the air, not theirs. You're the one who's been preparing for it, not them. You're the one who asked for it. Welcome the change. Don't face it as you would face an enemy. It came for you, not against you. It's a gift. Do you need faith to open a gift? Do you need help or approval from the others? No. All it takes is to want to open the package. All it takes to board the plane is to want to board the plane. That's all it takes. Even if you have no idea how it's going to happen. As long as you have the ticket in your hand, the airline will take care of everything else. And your ticket is that paper with your true wishes. It doesn't matter if the names change, from the moment it's issued, you're good to go. Don't be afraid, the plane is waiting. All this time you're thinking, what if all this is just an illusion? What if all this is just an idea too good to be true, and I throw everything away for something that is just in my mind? For some crazy idea that seems impossible to everyone who hears it, and even to me. So, you overestimate your safety, my dear, dear one. It has higher value in your mind than inspiration, but it is not what keeps your soul alive. Safety and madness are good in equal measures. If you have too much of either one, you're doomed to a life that's either more tearful than a dramatic soap opera or more boring than a documentary on a blood-sucking flea. But this is real life, and real life is not just about paying bills. It's also about what makes your heart beat faster and your mind wake up stimulated and curious to see what will happen next. It's about being alive without having everything predicted for you. It's about making things up as you go. It's about resetting your thoughts and reevaluating your emotions all the time, not knowing everything that's about to happen for the rest of the way. Otherwise, what did you come here for? To make careers and have families? Do you think that's all there is? You are here to grow, and a job and a family are only means for your growth, not the end of it. Otherwise, you might as well order your tombstone the moment your kids go to college. So, as I said, what if it's just an illusion? All good things started with what seemed to be a crazy idea. And it was. All ideas telling you to do things differently are crazy at the time. But without these crazy ideas, life wouldn't have evolved at all. Some of them were my crazy ideas, and I can tell you from my own divine experience, which wasn't so divine in the beginning, that most of them worked out very well. Some of them turned out to be a disaster, but I wouldn't change them for the world because they made me a lot wiser. And I can also tell you that wisdom does not grow in predictable environments. In predictable environments, you don't act, you repeat. You don't create, you copy. Find out how liberating it can be to start from zero in ages where others approach completion. It's like being given a fresh lifetime when everyone else acts like they're getting old. But more important than anything else, my friend, my son and my daughter, remember this. What if it actually works? What if your crazy idea actually works? What if instead of an illusion, it's brilliantly genius? What if it actually turns out to be the most magnificent thing you've ever done in your life and also makes a difference in the lives of others? Even when the chances are against you and people call you crazy, what if your visualization becomes reality? Wouldn't that be worth all the annoying chatter of your mind freaking out simply because you don't know how to accomplish what you're after, but you can't settle for less either? For this one chance in a million of introducing into this material world a version of the heaven that's in your heart, isn't it all worth it?